the things that you get into, and we've talked for years, is about the limited value of fear, right?
Yes.
I mean, you mentioned earlier in this podcast, the short-term design that it was designed for short-term saber-tooth tiger action,
Yeah.
not for a lifestyle.
Correct.
And I think one of the things that I do when I feel fear is I try to take action to educate myself or figure out or question what's really going on. I mean, the analogy I can have is if there's a loud sound in my backyard, it's kind of scary. If I hear some throaty voices back there and there's something going on in my backyard, well, I could pull the covers over my head and hope for the best and shiver, or I can get the bat by the bed, the taser that I have, the machete that I have by my door, and I could slowly walk through the house and be the be the person I was meant to be, someone brave, protecting his wife and kids from something potentially harmful. Could be some kid skinny dipping in my pool and I just got to yell to tell him to get out of there, or it could be something horrifying that I'm gonna have to deal with, right?
Yep.
But what did I do? I didn't maintain the fear. I didn't stay in the state of fear. I took on that in action, right? Well, why do people jump when they're scared, right? Well, you're actually getting ready.
Yes.
That nervous system is
Yes.
getting ready to do what it has to do. You used to talk about warming up the nervous system,
Yep.
not just the muscles.
Yep.
And I think it's an amazing thing when you understand fear, you use it as a tool, you know it's short term, and it gives you the energy it's supposed to give you, and then you get focused and you take action. That to me is what it's all about. I don't I had a friend of mine get into that 23andMe, which I'm sure you know about. And he then got his data and then read more, like extrapolations of what the data told him. And one of the things he found out is that he had this warrior gene. I didn't get a chance to look into this yet. Maybe you know a little more about it, but he said the warrior gene doesn't allow you to maintain fear for very long.
No.
You take action.
Yep.
And I said, wow, I don't really consider myself, some might not, a warrior, because I'm probably a little bit more of a lover than a fighter, but I'm not afraid to fight, but I really don't love it. Whether it be physical or anything really rough verbal stuff. But I thought to myself, I can't maintain a state of fear. It's extremely uncomfortable to the point where I am running right at the saber-tooth tiger sooner or later. At first, I'm going to go, okay, it's a big saber-tooth tiger. I got a sharp stick. I'm going to come up over there, or maybe I'll get it later tonight when it's dark or when it's light or when it's blind or when it's sleeping. I'm going to put some time in. I'm not staying in the cave for 4, 6, 8 months, right? I'm not staying in the cave for 8 months. I'm incapable. Other people are capable. God bless them. You want to hide from this thing and you're capable of doing that and it's not destroying you. You're a subset of the population. Fantastic. Just don't tell me what to do. I'm not telling you what to do. You want to
and please don't breathe. No, did I say that out loud? Don't breathe.
If you want to ask my advice, if you want to ask my advice, I'm going to tell you how wrong that is. But at the same time, I'm going to get you healthy so you can withstand breathing and moving around and doing basic stuff. Like it's education to get rid of fear. Go look it up. One thing that happened to me is a patient said, oh, this virus lives on plastic surfaces for this long, lives on metal surfaces for this long. They came in with this list of all this new stuff because I had historically talked this virus with this patient. And I think they were kind of, coming in kind of proud that they did some homework because I actually said, read a little more. And they came back with this. And I thought, okay, this individual said, well, what are we going to do? It lives on surfaces and it's on bags and I should spray down my groceries. And I'm like, all right, let me just tell you something. I didn't go over this, but there's this thing called viral load. Okay, you got to get a number of these things. And the example I use, because I just couldn't think of a better example. You try not to get, into overt or any type of sexual talk these days. But I said, you think about what sperm does, right? What does it do? There's a whole bunch of them. They go in and they swim, and then one makes it, and most of them die. You think about sea turtles. Maybe I'll stick with this analogy just a little better. A whole bunch of sea turtles are born on the sand and they have to try to make it to the water.
Hundreds.
The birds are coming down, eating these things like Triscuits, right? And, maybe 50 make it to the water, right? Because they had the bigger quads. They had quads like yours. So they're making it in the sand. So when you think about what is this virus, you need a load. You need to break the body down by getting so much of it in you, right? And I've heard 10,000 viral particles to likely get sick. There's all kinds of stuff out there. But, you're going to run your tongue along the surfaces. Okay, that might work. You might, but, there's precautions I'll take, but to get to this point, that we see people destroying themselves with fear,
Yes.
destroying their children's mental health.
Yes.
It's just so ridiculous that and and the conspiracy theories people keep shoveling coal into some of these things, because you think, well, why else would we be doing this? Why else would they want us to behave this way? What do they really want? What do governments tend to do? I've had so many people look up the definition of tyranny, didn't even know what it was, right? I said, governments tend towards tyranny, and we have these amazing constitutional rights, and we really need to support this kind of thing, right? So we get into, that kind of thing,
So what you're saying, Doc, and I totally agree with you, is, we're dumbing down our children, not only with, fear is a virtue now, it's like, why is it virtue? It's like a participation award or trophy. I was a soccer coach, believe it or not, for one day. Let me tell you the story. So I was a single dad at the time. I bring my girls over to the soccer field. They have their little uniforms on. They may have been like 6 and 4. And we get over there and like, oh, Dr. Clary, we want you to, coach this team or do this team. And I'm like, great. All right, I'll do that. And, I'm saying, someone scores and I go, blue 1, yellow 0. Oh, no, Dr. Clary. Wait a minute. We don't keep score. I go, excuse me? I say that again. Oh, we don't keep score. I said, wait a minute. The world keeps score. Their boss is going to keep score. The IRS keeps score.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of the world keeps score. We need to prepare these kids for winning and losing. The best thing they can do is lose and learn what they need to do to win. Winning has to be a virtue. Winning has to be a virtue.
Yeah.
So needless to say, I grabbed my 2 kids and walked off the field. But guess what? I was in the very, very small minority.
I bet. Just put up with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And people think it's okay. Well, Fred, what are you saying, that, we're not all, built alike and created alike? No, we're not. We're not created equal. But that's not what the Constitution says. Okay. We were giving equal rights. But let me load up a bench press with 500 pounds and put it over your neck and see if you live. You're not going to.
Yeah.
Let me see you try to fold a fitted sheet like my wife can do, like with one hand. It's amazing. She can do origami. You'll be pulling your hair out. Just throw the damn thing in the closet. Damn fitted sheets. Not everyone is created equal. That's the beautiful mosaic of humanity we have. Black, green, red, purple, skinny, bulky, overweight, underweight, intellectually smart, musicians, arts. I mean, it's just amazing. I love being a human being and seeing how everyone's different. How can you not love humanity?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What I want to say. Yeah. What I want to interject in that is, one of my things, my father used to always tease people. He had a big, massive heart, very funny man. And he could get away with saying things to people on an ethnic and racial basis that most people couldn't get away with. And it always fascinated me. Gee, I would never think of saying that guy. I don't know how that's funny. Everyone's laughing. But I realized something, that if anyone that knew my father knew he had a lot of love for everybody. So if he pointed out your skin color and he pointed out that you were short or that your nose was big, whatever, and made some fun about it, he was just as welcoming to get the criticism too, right? He could dish it out and take it. Not everything was funny. You knew, God, this guy loves me. He's just pointing out something I already know, and he's clearing the air. He's pointing the elephant out in the room. Let's get that done. And it was, so to me, humanity being so varied, even people that come from backgrounds that I don't understand, I don't hate them for it. I'm gifted, I guess, that I don't have a hateful personality. Right. But what I find different, when someone's different than me, I think it's interesting. I don't think I'm not afraid of it, because I'm not fear-based either, thank God. So between not having that fear, I don't have that easy to go to hate when someone is different. Different is fascinating, right? I mean, I don't like arrogance. There's a couple things that get under my skin. By no means am I perfect, but that mosaic, like you're saying, that's, that is something that we should all be thankful for.